What's up, everybody? Time for some more rSpace. Would I be the a-hole if I didn't buy a new engagement ring? Sorry for any mistakes. English isn't my first language. For 5 years now, I, male 26, am with the love of my life, female 25. I cannot express how much I love her and how important she is to me. I knew I wanted to marry her shortly after getting together. We're finally financially stable enough, so I decided now was the time. In 2020, my girlfriend lost her grandmother. They were super close, and it hit my girlfriend hard, especially because she couldn't have a last goodbye in the hospital. COVID restrictions didn't allow visitors. In early 2021, my girlfriend helped her sister move houses. She was wearing a ring her grandmother gave her before she passed, and lost it while carrying boxes. This had hit her even more, and even now, she will still sometimes cry about this because she feels like she lost the last memory of her grandmother. We had looked for the ring, but hadn't found it. On Christmas, my girlfriend had cried again because she missed her grandmother and lamented the loss of the ring. This gave me an idea. She spent the weekend of New Year's Eve with a friend, so I contacted her sister and asked if I could search her house once again for the ring. When I mentioned that I want to use the ring to propose, she was super excited. She, her husband, and my girlfriend's mother, who loved the idea as well, helped me, and eventually we found the ring between some boxes in her garage. Even with 4 people looking, it took us hours. I'm planning on proposing on the 14th, which is the anniversary of our first date, and we always go out to do something nice then. I had mentioned it to my friends who were excited for me, but when they asked about what ring I got and I told them the story, they called me a cheapskate for not buying my girlfriend a new ring. They also said that it's not an engagement ring. I mean, it really doesn't look like an engagement ring, because it isn't. It's a normal silver ring with an amethyst stone. My girlfriend struggled with anxiety, and her grandmother got her one because apparently those stones help against anxiety. And yes, my girlfriend believes in healing powers of stones and often wears jewelry made out of them. They also said it's an a-hole move to use the ring someone else paid for as an engagement ring. One friend also brought up that by connecting the ring to our engagement, I might taint its original meaning. Now I don't feel so confident about this anymore. I thought that since the ring has a lot of meaning to her, it might be a good engagement ring. My girlfriend isn't big about clunky and expensive jewelry, and even, jokingly, said she would even be okay with a candy ring because it's the symbol that counts and not the ring itself. But now I'm scared I really might come off as a cheapskate, and she might not want this ring as an engagement ring, but just normal jewelry. Would I be the a-hole? Edit. This got a bigger reaction than I thought. Thanks for every comment. Most of them were nice. Also, most people agreed that I should offer to go ring shopping afterwards, so she can have another ring if she wants to. I think this is the course I will take. Thanks for the advice. A lot of people also pointed out that she might be upset that I kept the ring from her at the point of engagement for 2 weeks. To be honest, my girlfriend is a huge fan of surprises, so I must admit I hadn't thought about it that way, and I see my fault there. Also, some have asked to update this. If the mods let me, I might post an update after the 14th. Edit 2. This has gotten way bigger now, and I just want to add that even if you think I'm the a-hole in this situation, please don't start insulting others. I saw a few comments calling others abusive or crazy because they said they liked the idea, and I also received private messages saying that they hope my girlfriend breaks up with me and sues me. I was surprised to see that the verdict was not the a-hole actually, because every other comment I see is an insult against me. My girlfriend, please stop insulting her, seriously, and stop blaming her for not finding the ring herself. She really tried looking for it. Or random Redditors. Update. Lots of people asked for an update, so here it goes. As you can see at the date, it all went a bit different. Even though the verdict was not the a-hole, lots of people decided to slide into my DMs and tell me how abusive and horrible I am, how stupid my girlfriend was, etc. It really wore down on my mental health all weekend. So on Sunday, I couldn't take it anymore and decided to tell her right then and use our anniversary for ring shopping. We got food from her favorite restaurant, takeout sadly because of COVID restrictions, and then went on a walk. That's when I pulled the ring out. As many of you expected, she cried. Happy tears. I explained how her family and I looked for it and how I want to make it my duty to forever make her happy. Asked her the big question. More happy tears. She said yes. Surprisingly enough, she wasn't mad that I kept the ring for 2 weeks. She just laughed and said she couldn't believe her sister could keep it a secret because her sister is known to often accidentally spoil surprises. I told her that the ring is just a symbol of how I will always try to make her happy and that we can go real engagement ring shopping together, which was the general advice given to me in my original post. But she said she likes this ring as an engagement ring and would be happy to make it an heirloom from now on. Many said in the original post that it was an heirloom, but that's not true. She got the ring from her grandma as a normal present. Sorry if I made it sound like that. so the memory of her grandma can live through the next generations. She also joked about how we now have to get rose quartz wedding rings because apparently they go well with amethysts. To be honest, I don't understand much about the whole crystal stone thing, but I'm just happy that she is happy. The last few days she wore the ring with full pride. I think she didn't even take it off for sleeping, though she takes the "I will always try to make you happy" thing a bit too literal, and every time she asks for something, she holds the ring in my face and jokingly says, I now have to do whatever she says. Our first reaction comes from Rex Conroy. Sounds like this had the best possible outcome. Wonderful, and congrats. One more chime in from Niek PKMN. Congratulations on your engagement. From what I understood from your last post, I expected your girlfriend fiancé to be ecstatic about you finding the lost ring and surprising her with it, and I'm glad it all worked out. I'm so happy for the both of you, and I wish you all the best. Moving on. Am I the a-hole for telling my sister she would have been a terrible mother? I, 17 male, have two sisters, Alice, 29, and Miranda, 33. I am much closer to Alice than I am to Miranda. Miranda is also not on good terms with our parents. Alice has 4 kids and is currently expecting child number 5, while Miranda can't have children, which her ex divorced her for. Miranda is very successful in life. She has a nice apartment, works a good job, and earns a decent amount of money. Alice, on the other hand, is struggling financially. She had her first kid right out of high school and got pregnant with her second child soon after, so she decided to become a stay-at-home mom to her children while her boyfriend provides for them. Me and my parents try to help them out as much as possible, be it childcare or money, whatever she needs. I love my nieces and nephews. I take them to the park and play with the older ones. I really enjoy it. Miranda doesn't help out with them. She says it's because she's too busy. Well, she works long hours, but she doesn't have kids, so I don't know what she does on weekends. She also doesn't help out financially, which I find unfair since she makes so much money and all she does is spend it on herself, although she does give us very nice gifts for Christmas and birthdays. My parents nag her about it, saying she should give some of her money to Alice monthly, and I agree with that. So here comes the part where I may have been an a-hole. I was at Miranda's place last week, as she baked muffins and invited me over to eat some and catch up. We got on the topic of Christmas presents and I told her some of the stuff I wanted. She nodded and said she would give our parents a coupon for a much-needed vacation and Alice some clothes she had mentioned and also some new boots and jackets for her kids. I was a little stunned she didn't have more for Alice, so I asked, "Why do you only get Alice the bare minimum? You can afford to help out more and you refused it out of spite." Miranda looked up at me and laughed. She said it wasn't her business to feed 6 people, that Alice was old enough to make her choices and live with the consequences. She knew what she was getting herself into and that she wouldn't pay Alice's way through life just because she kept having children she couldn't afford. I was stunned at how cold she reacted. I asked her how she could live her life being so selfish and uncaring, and she got angry and told me, "Listen, kid, there are some things you are way too young for to be discussing with me, and this is one of those. Drop the subject or get out." I got really frustrated with her and said something I probably shouldn't have. I told her, "No wonder your husband divorced you. Even if you could have children, you would be a terrible mother." Miranda got very quiet and told me to leave and never come back. She has now blocked me on everything, and though I don't agree with her not helping out, I'm starting to feel guilty for what I said. So, am I the a-hole? Fiendish Thingies chimes in with the first judgment. "You're the a-hole. You went way too far with that comment. Shame on you." And Miranda is completely right. It's her money that she earned. She has absolutely no obligation to give her money away if she doesn't want to. You and your family expecting Miranda to give her money to her sister that can't afford her lifestyle is greedy. Yes, your sister Alice kept having kids. It was her choice to keep having them. No one owes your sister anything because of the choices she made, especially her sister. Update. So, it's been a while, and I know I haven't answered any comments because I was too ashamed, and I still am. When my parents and sister found out what I said to Miranda, they were absolutely furious. Alice shouted at me so long my ears were ringing. She looked like she was about to rip my head off. You were right. My sisters had a whole life before I came along and I was too immature to understand the dynamics between them. When I look at my post, I'm disgusted about my tone and what I assumed was the truth, because not only was I an absolute a-hole, I was also terribly wrong about a lot of things. Alice never asked for money nor childcare. My parents did that willingly, and as I was raised alongside them, they felt more like siblings to me, so I didn't mind. My family also never painted Miranda as the big villain. That was all just me, because she was already grown and out of the house most of the time when I was little. I just didn't have a deeper connection with her. Maybe I was resentful that she was never there. I can't tell. My parents also didn't really pester Miranda that she should give money to Alice. They only asked her to chip in for bigger presents, which she always did. I was blinded by my love and concern for Alice that I vilified Miranda. I apologized 100 times to Miranda. I wrote her letters, tried calling, went to her apartment, but she wouldn't see me or answer my letters, and she is in her right to do so. I hurt her deeply and she doesn't owe me forgiveness. But the reason I made this update in the first place is some, hopefully, good news for you. Miranda has since moved away with her ex. I don't have the whole picture, but they are still very much in love. When his family found out Miranda was infertile, they pestered them to no end, and their marriage didn't withstand that. It was really horrible, which I never knew. My parents said Miranda didn't want me to know the truth, but now that they are in another country, I hope they can be happy again. Also, please don't hate on Alice. She is a wonderful person and a very good mother to all of her kids. Her third pregnancy were twins, which they didn't expect, and her boyfriend had a vasectomy, but they ended up pregnant regardless with baby number 5, which has been born in the meantime. Her boyfriend has also got a promotion at work, and they can now live more comfortably. I know I'm in the wrong and that I have a lot of growing to do. I deserve everything you said in the comments. Maybe one day I can have a relationship with Miranda again, but on her terms. If you want to know anything else, let me know. I promise to answer to as many comments as I can. We've got one closing comment from Supergirl Krypton. You've learned a hard lesson here. Making statements that you've said without seeking out more information can lead to the devastating results you've experienced. This can be something that you'll feel shame over for a long time, but if you do some self-reflection, you can use the results of it to make you more compassionate, kind, and empathetic.